So let's talk briefly about the weaknesses in our previous coding strategy. If we go back to our site folder and we open up the previous site folder, the 08 one that we renamed, and we open up our crud.php file so we can compare it side by side with our new crud.php file, what we have here is basically a library of functions. These functions are defined at the same level as every other function, which means that we have to be careful about how we name them, which is why all of these functions begin with data and an underscore. What we're doing here is planning on not using this data underscore prefix for anything other than what's related to this particular use. This is called namespacing. With a project as small as ours is right now, this is not a big deal. We're not even working with other people. But if we had multiple people working on this code base, the chances of using the same function name or prefix goes up quite a bit. So that's one weakness we can address by using object-oriented programming. Another one is this issue of options. As we work through the process of creating the list of data and then editing that data or adding that data and then processing that, we have to take this options array that we establish in our various administration pages and pass it around to the various functions. In our administrative pages, we only pass this to a single function. If we scroll down to the bottom, it's this function right here, data administration page, and we have the options variable here. But then, as we call different functions within this function, we have to pass it the options array so that we know what type of data we're dealing with and the different attributes that are associated with it. So there are some relationships that exist between all of these functions and the data that they share between themselves. Right now, we're implying that relationship by simply putting all of these functions in the same file. So we assume that if we look at this file and we see all of these functions, that all of the functions are going to relate to one another in some way. But we can do something better than that and explicitly sort of talk about the relationship between everything. Really, what we're looking at here is one machine. This machine deals with everything that has to do with CRUD, with creating, reading, updating, and deleting content. This machine can perform different tasks. For example, we can decide what we're going to do on this page, and that task is wrapped up in this function, data administration page. And if we look at any of these functions relate to a particular task that can be done by this machine that we've built.